The rain was falling harder than ever that night, the streets glistening under the dim street lights. Most people had already run for shelter, but one man kept walking with determination, his coat drenched, his eyes fixed straight ahead. He had no idea that within the next few minutes, he would face a choice that would change his life forever. A single father, burdened with the weight of his past and the love for his little daughter, would soon stand against 5 men in the pouring rain. And what followed the next morning, when a helicopter thundered above his house, would leave his entire neighborhood speechless. Daniel was not just a father, he was everything to his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago, his world had shrunk into 2 things: working double shifts to keep food on the table, and coming home every night to read Lily her bedtime story. He was a man who carried invisible scars but hid them behind a tired smile, because he knew Lily deserved a childhood full of warmth, not sorrow. That night, Daniel was returning home late after overtime at the factory. His umbrella had broken, so he walked through the rain, clutching the small lunchbox Lily had decorated with stickers of stars and hearts. The city felt eerily empty. Just as he was turning into an alley to take a shortcut, he heard something, a faint, desperate cry for help. He froze. His instincts told him to walk away. He had Lily waiting at home, probably staring at the door, waiting for his footsteps. But then the cry came again, sharper, trembling, a voice full of fear. Daniel's chest tightened. He couldn't ignore it. Rushing into the alley, he saw her, a woman cornered by 5 men. Their laughter echoed against the walls, cruel and heavy. She was shivering, her hands raised defensively, her back pressed to the wall. "Please, just let me go," she begged, her voice breaking. Daniel's heart pounded. He wasn't a fighter. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man trying to raise a daughter. But in that moment, he saw Lily's face, her innocent eyes, her trust in him, and something inside him snapped. He shouted, his voice cutting through the rain. "Hey! Leave her alone." The men turned, smirking at the soaked stranger who dared to interrupt. "And who's gonna make us?" "You," one sneered. Daniel clenched his fists. Fear rushed through him like fire, but he stepped forward. The woman's eyes met his, wide with disbelief and fragile hope. The fight that followed wasn't graceful, it was raw, desperate. Daniel fought with the strength of a father protecting not just a stranger, but the very idea of safety and dignity. Punches landed, rain splashed, and pain shot through his body. But he refused to fall. Even when his lip split and his ribs ached, he kept going. Finally, with one last surge of strength, he managed to drive them back. The attackers, bruised and startled, cursed and scattered into the night. Silence returned, broken only by the steady patter of rain. Daniel staggered, breathless. The woman trembled as she whispered, You saved me." But he shook his head. "No. I just did what anyone should." He offered his coat, even though he was shivering himself. He didn't even wait for thanks. All he thought of was Lily, she was waiting. He turned and walked into the rain, vanishing as quietly as he had arrived. Morning sunlight spilled into Daniel's modest home. Lily giggled as she braided her doll's hair at the kitchen table, while Daniel scrambled eggs on the stove, his body aching from last night's bruises. He tried to hide his pain, forcing a smile when Lily asked, "Daddy, why are you walking funny?" "Just old bones creaking," he teased, ruffling her hair. The simple warmth of that moment filled him with peace. He didn't think much of what had happened. To him, it was over, just another night where he'd chosen what felt right. He believed the world would move on quietly. But the world had other plans. By noon, Daniel noticed something strange, neighbors peeking out their windows, whispers rising in the street. Then came the sound, thunder in the sky. He rushed outside with Lily, shielding her eyes. Above them, a helicopter roared, its blades slicing the air. The entire neighborhood froze, pointing upward. The helicopter hovered low, almost over Daniel's house. For a moment, fear struck him. Had the men from last night found him? Was trouble coming? Then, through the wind and noise, a voice echoed over a loudspeaker. "Where is the man who saved her?" Daniel's heart pounded. He looked around, bewildered, as Lily clutched his hand. Neighbors' eyes turned to him, they knew. Somehow, the story had spread. The helicopter lowered, and from inside it, a man in uniform leaned out, saluting Daniel. "Sir, the woman you saved last night, she wasn't just anyone. She's the daughter of a high-ranking officer. She told us everything. The city owes you its gratitude." The crowd gasped. Daniel's knees weakened, his modest world spinning. He had expected nothing, no reward, no recognition. Yet here he stood, a single dad with torn shoes and weary eyes, now seen as a hero. Lily squeezed his hand, her voice small but proud. "Daddy, you're a real superhero." Tears welled in Daniel's eyes. For once, he didn't hide them. He knelt, hugging her tight. "No, baby. I'm just your dad. And that's the only hero I'll ever need to be." As the helicopter circled and the neighborhood erupted in applause, Daniel realized something. Sometimes, being brave isn't about strength or glory, it's about standing up when it matters most, even if no one is watching. And sometimes, the world does notice. This is not just a story of courage. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary people, fathers, mothers, neighbors, can do extraordinary things when driven by love and responsibility. Heroes are not born. They are made in the quiet, rain-soaked moments when they choose to act.